And now it's time for our second panel discussion, recruitment through collaboration. And it focuses on peace, defense, and security strategic collaboration. I would like to give the floor to the moderator of this panel, Mr. Sean Mendes, Director for International Relations of the Swedish Employment Agency. Sean, please.
Thank you very much, and you may remember me from the first panel. This will be my last appearance at the conference, and I'm very pleased to moderate Plenary Session 2, and I'm talking slowly to give people time to come into the room. And the theme of this plenary session is recruitment, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing what our panelists have to say. I can briefly introduce them. We have Andres Seglins, who's a Juris advisor with the State Employment Service of Latvia. We have Živa Stiglic, who is a senior advisor in the International Department at the Employment Service of Slovenia. And we have Christoph Hempel, who is a key account manager with the Bundesagentur, the German Federal Employment Agency, and works with recruitment to the armed forces, I believe. I would we will have some time for questions. Our session is from 11:45, let's say, to 12:40. And I will try to ensure that it's as interactive as possible. We've had a pre-meeting, and so everyone knows that their time limits, and I will help them if anyone strays too far, but they've all assured me that they would keep time, and I believe them too. I think what I will do is I'll invite up our first presenter on partnering for talent, how the State Employment Agency supports defense sector recruitment, Mr. Andres Seglins, and sorry for probably mispronouncing your name.
No, it's your turn. Yes, I see that there is, first presentation will be from my colleague Živa. Yes, and my presentation will be next one.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have heard a lot about armed forces, and today I want to talk a little bit about the cooperation between Employment Service of Slovenia and Slovenian police. My Director General, who is here with me, has not seen this beautiful PowerPoint before, so it's also a surprise for her. So, firstly, the labor market situation in Slovenia, as in the majority of your countries, we are facing very serious challenges. There are fewer and fewer young people entering the workforce. The population is aging, and there is a very serious mismatch between what employers need and what the labor market currently has to offer. And the police force are among those employers. There are no exceptions. And I don't know how it's in your countries, but Slovenia's police force urgently needs skilled, but more than skilled, they need motivated and committed candidates. So what I would like to emphasize today is that police work is not just a job. It's a profession with a mission to ensure public security, safety, to ensure security for all citizens. It's a profession with a mission in a world where there is a serious lack of mission. And I think that as a public employment service that we are trying to find candidates, we have to cash in on that. So the uniformed occupations, the uniformed professions in Slovenia, police is among them, are facing even bigger challenges than the other companies, the other employers, because they cannot rely on the foreign workforce. And you know that we are now, a lot of companies are heavily employing foreign workforce. And moreover, the procedure recruitment, why? Because the citizenship is a must. I think it's the same in your countries. And moreover, the recruitment procedures are oftentimes very lengthy, demanding. The working conditions are very diverse, very demanding. Plus, a police officer should be in a very good physical and psychological condition. And we can see that based on that, it's very, very difficult to attract and retain candidates. So this is why filling in candidates, filling in jobs in the police sector is not just a job. Like being a police officer is not just a job, it's also a mission. It is a piece of a puzzle that we, as public servants, can contribute to a professional and stable police force that is super important for peace and security and feeling of safety now already. And in Slovenia, a lot of job seekers and a lot of wider public does not fully understand the mission and values of and importance of police force. This is why in this partnership that we have with the police force of Slovenia, we are not only filling in vacancies, but we are trying to shift these perspectives and raise awareness of the importance of police work in Slovenia. So how it started? It started at the regional office in Ljubljana. Of course, for years, they have been working with the police, recruiting people, but they started thinking, we should do more, we can do more. We can make this profession attractive again. We can raise awareness of what does it mean to have a profession with a mission. So in 2024, the regional office of Ljubljana and the police signed the first partnership agreement. And they decided that the Employment Service of Slovenia will not only refer the candidates, but will also motivate them, guide them, and try to raise awareness on the importance of being a police officer. And the police, on the other hand, is going to provide materials, and more importantly, the police are going to be, and they were, present at every event that the regional office of Ljubljana held. They came and they talked to people, and they talked to especially young people, and so together they wanted to make this profession attractive again. And guess what? It worked. Like, job seekers were really interested to interact with the police. They were really interested for an experience. And because of this successful partnership, in 2025, you can see it on the photo, the cooperation extended nationwide, and the Employment Service of Slovenia has concluded a partnership agreement for the whole region of Slovenia. So that means that every employment advisor at the Employment Service of Slovenia is fully briefed on all the job opportunities at the police force of Slovenia. That means that they inform people, motivate people, guide people, and also refer them to the recruitment channels. That means that no one is left uninformed. From the long-term unemployed to the young people entering the labor market for the first time, everyone gets a complete, first-hand and professional information on how is it really like to be a police officer. But we have also extended this cooperation beyond this classic advisory role. So our colleagues are actually attending meetings of principals, mayors, school advisors, and are really promoting all the events that we are creating together with the police force. Also, the materials, very attractive visual materials, can be found in every regional and local office at the Employment Service of Slovenia. So we are really trying to spread the words towards not only job seekers, but also students, also kids, also parents, also principals, also NGOs, etc. And What is very, very important is that also the police officers are not staying in their offices. They are, again, present at every bigger employment event that Employment Service of Slovenia is organizing. And they do not come alone. They bring the horses, they bring the dogs, they bring the equipment, they bring the cars, I don't know what's the name of the cars, and they interact with people for the whole day. And we really saw that there is a big added value to this personal experience. And because of that, we have created a very good practice new event, Info Days, at the Police Academy. We did that together with the police force, of course, so Employment Service of Slovenia and the police force. We did that Info Day. It took place for 2 days in August, this August, at the Police Academy, and we really, really, really promoted it, like really. We went again to schools, we went to principals, we went to NGOs, we did like a really big campaign. We did that together in the partnership, of course. We did a really big campaign in all social media channels. Every advisor invited people, and it was really great because not only job seekers came, but kids came, students came, all interested people came, and it was a really, really good event. And we did like challenges for them. They could spend the day with horses, with dogs. They could see where at the police academy students sleep, cadets sleep, where they eat. They could talk to them. And we really think that in a world that is very digital, like this personal experience, that you really got an experience, really, really matter. So to conclude, what my point is, am I fine on time? Okay. What my point is, first of all, filling in vacancies for the police force, it's not just a classic advisory role, it's also a mission. So the mission is to be a police officer, but the mission can also be as an advisor or as a colleague at the Public Employment Service to do your part this way. So this is the first one, and the second one that I already told you, like personal experience, innovative events really matter and make a big difference. This is it for me, and back to you.
Thank you very much for the very animated and colorful presentation, and really, really, really emphasizing the point which is now stuck in my head, and we'll certainly have some questions. Next up, we have the Latvian experience in terms of supporting defense sector recruitment. Over to you.
Hello, participants, and I will introduce you with our role in supporting recruitment needs of defense sector. And in my presentation, I will shortly introduce you with how about challenges. We will talk about challenges of attracting job seekers to this sector, about the ways we address stereotypes, how we build our collaboration between military sector and also our stakeholders, and finally what practical support we provide in the recruitment process. But I will start with some short overview of our Latvian armed forces, and just for your overview. And in Latvia, our armed forces are structured around three main formations. And the first is regular forces, the professional soldiers who dedicate their full careers to service. The second is a National Guard, or in Latvian it's Zemesardze. This is a volunteer-based formation that allows citizens to contribute to national defense while continuing with their civilian lives. And the third component is the reserves, which consist of trained individuals who can called up when needed. And regarding terms of numbers, you can see that we have about almost 8,000 professional soldiers, approximately 10,000 National Guards, and almost 38,000 reserve soldiers and trained reservists. And how to attract the job seekers is not easy. It's not an easy task, and what we see that one of this point is we emphasize that purpose-driven nature of this defense career. Because we all know that labor market is changed, and in labor market came this new generation, new people, and they expecting from labor market maybe something, and we see that they expect something different. And today many young people are looking for work that has meaning, something that can contribute to society, and defense career offer exactly that. Protecting our nation, supporting peacekeeping missions abroad, also helping during natural disasters. And one more that it should be highlighted that already some of our speakers already told about the transferable skills. And also, for example, if a person who trains in IT sector in the military sector, then they can later apply that knowledge in civilian life, and vice versa from some people who are trained in private life, for instance, in logistics sector, they can use their knowledge and skills also in military. And we also already heard that military is not only military, but not only soldiers, but also this other services that can be important also for defense sector. As well, leadership, teamwork, and crisis management are skills that employers in all sectors value highly, and also, of course, in military sector. And also, technical skills, cybersecurity are also skills which are in high demand in every sector. Also, we should show that there is also some clear career pathway if we looking to defense sector, and there are opportunities for training, reskilling, and continuous professional development. And this means that, for instance, if someone enters at a junior level to defense sector, they can grow, specialize, and build a lifelong career there. And finally, it should be also stressed that today's defense sector is modern, inclusive, and diverse. It's not longer about one type of person in one type of role. It's maybe some post-Soviet memories from that, but nowadays, of course, there are opportunities for many wider audience, for men and women, for people with different educational background, and with a variety of skills. Of course, still we see and feel that there is stereotypes about the defense sector, and it's challenges in changing the way people perceive the defense sector. And sometimes when people hear that the word military, they immediately think about combat roles and soldiers with weapons. But we already heard from other speakers that, of course, this is not only this soldier roles, but it's also it's one side of stories. There is also opportunities in digital technologies, medicine, engineering, artificial intelligence, logistics, and many supporting areas. And to break the stereotypes, also important is to share these real-life stories. And we see that, for instance, hearing from a young woman in cyber defense, or a doctor who serves in peacekeeping missions, it's far more effective than abstract descriptions. Also, it's important to highlight that the sector is not rigid and outdated, and instead it is innovative, technology-driven, and also team-oriented. And our soldiers today work with cutting-edge systems, advanced communications, and complex problem-solving situations. And also, it was mentioned that in Latvia we have also this mandatory military service, and it's also important to present the defense service not only as a responsibility but as a chance to contribute to society. And there is also this question about how to learn and this patriotism, and it's also important. Important thing if we think about this recruitment for defense sector. So once we have a clear message, the next step is to make sure it reaches the right people. And in our state employment agency, during the years, we have modernized our communication channels, and social media is key here, especially to reach a younger audience. We also use the state employment agency's website and on the websites of our partners to promote opportunities. Also, important role plays local PES offices because they are directly in touch with both unemployed individuals and those who are considering career change. And in these offices, they can provide personal guidance and introduce defense career as a real option. And also what already previous speaker talked about, that it's also important to give this presence also in universities, in schools, and also in job fairs. We see the similarities with Slovenia. We also quite active work in that field, and it's important that pupils and also students know about these opportunities. And another pillar of our work is collaboration, and our state employment agency doesn't work in isolation. We closely work with armed forces and stakeholders. And we already many years are already cooperate with armed forces, and we have held joint meetings to get information and discuss ways how we can cooperate, what we can do, what we cannot do. And also we conduct this mapping of labor market needs so that we understand exactly what skills are in demand and where potential gaps exist. And yes, we also organize workshops for PES staff, and this is important because employment advisors need to understand the specific requirements of defense roles. And from my personal experience in my labor office, we also had several such meetings, and I have positive example because some PES employees after this workshop joined the National Guard. It's our employees are now at National Guard, and yes, very positive example also of our collaboration. And also, of course, it's important not to stop at some point, but continue with this collaboration, and also continue about feedback loops to analyze what is done good, what is not so good, and try to improve our collaboration steps. And let me just shortly describe how it looks in practice, what we as State Employment Agency can provide to defense sector. The most important thing is that we provide services of registration of job vacancies. We have own CVEN vacancy portal, and I can say that it's one of most recognizable and largest job posting portals in the country. There is also wide options to that a large audience will be contacted. Next, we organize also meetings with job seekers, either face-to-face in our offices or online, and to connect candidates directly with defense recruiters. And we also play active role in recruitment in candidate selection and helping to match the right person itself. And also, of course, we organize job fairs. Again, it's in person and online, where defense sector can preserve itself and meet potential candidates and answer unclear questions. And all those steps make the recruitment process smoother, more transparent, and more effective. And at the end of my presentation, some examples of posters and banners of our events where defense sector have participated. And over the last 3 years, we have organized more than 50 recruitment events with the participation of national defense institutions, and those events were attended by over 2,000 participants. And from our side, we provide organizational this part. We organize events and online and also on-site. And I can say that we have already many years, we have a very good collaboration with the defense sector. And I can say that defense sector themselves, they are very active and open to participate and provide information and participate in our job fairs and meetings with job seekers. And to conclude, I would like to return the main message that our State Employment Agency is an important partner in strengthening defense sector recruitment in Latvia, and by attracting job seekers, challenging stereotypes and building collaboration, we help ensure that Latvian armed forces are well staffed and well prepared and future oriented. And also what previous speaker said, that it's not just about filling vacancies, it's about contribution to Latvia's security, supporting our communities, and offering people meaningful careers with long-term value. Thank you very much from my side.
Thank you very much. And now we'll have our final speaker on this panel about recruitment, Christoph Hempel from the German Federal Employment Agency and cooperation with the armed forces. Over to you.
So thank you very much, Sean, for the kind introduction, and hello everyone. It's actually my first time speaking in front of so many international colleagues, so yeah, please excuse me if I don't always find the perfect words in English. I try to do my best, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. So let's get started. I try to stay within our strict time limits. With the title From Agreement to Action, I give you an insight into the cooperation between the Federal Employment Agency and the armed forces in Germany. As you all know, we hear today many times, the global security situation has changed dramatically in the last years. Because of that, and with the goal of defending the future, the armed forces in Germany facing their major challenge, rebuilding their personnel base. That's not that easy because the obligatory military service was suspended in 2011. In response of that, and supported by special federal funds between 2022 and 2025, the armed forces have launched a wide range of recruitment measures, from major marketing campaigns, similar to those described by Anders in Latvia, to job fairs and public events. But however, today we want to focus on one key measure, and that's the framework agreement. The agreement was signed in November 2024 by Andrea Nahles, who is the head of the Federal Employment Agency in Germany, and Boris Pistorius, the Minister of Defense in Germany. And as you can see on the next slide, there was already a cooperation agreement from 2010. Back then, we focused mainly on recruiting civilian staff and integration former soldiers in the labor market. But 14 years later, time has changed and it's time to modernize and broaden the partnership. Now we focus more on the military recruitment and on concrete measures. These measures are the regular career information events, regional exchange formats, mutual job shadowing for our advisors, and placing the armed force content on our online channel. I'll explain some of these in the next slides. But first, let's take a look how we've implemented the new agreement in our organization. We are working in Germany on 3 levels in our organization. First level is the key account management. That's my team. Our task is to coordinate the communication with the Ministry of Defense. We manage exchange of informations. We prepare materials for our colleagues across Germany. We also manage the job listings. And we work closely with our internal university to involve the young talents in the process. The second level we have in Germany, it's our regional directorates. They are responsible for the practical cooperation at the regional level. They have monthly exchange with our local armed forces. They organizing troop visits and job shadowing for the advisors, and they have to report back to us regularly so that we have a big picture all about Germany, how the cooperation works. And then we have the third level, that are the local employment agencies, who are the heart of the action, because there the job seekers and the armed forces meet. Our advisors register interested applicants and refer them to the Armed Forces Career Counseling Service. We even provide the counseling service from the Armed Forces rooms for their advisors, so that the interested candidates can be supported directly on site. The advisors have to speak about military service as possible career path instead of apprenticeship or studying for young people. That's really important for us. And the armed forces take place in every job fair or career event in the agencies. Now, what does this mean in practice? Let's start with the job listings. They were transmitted directly to our system via the technical interface. Our IT colleagues review them and add alternative civilian job titles to improve the matching, and they push them across Germany. Actually, we have around 550 job listings with more than 16,000 vacancies in whole Germany. We support our advisors by providing information materials developed together with the Ministry of Defense. I already talked. That could be flyers, guidance documents, and many other things. And they are available nationwide via our intranet. The advisors inform 3 target groups we defined that are the job seekers, the employees, and the young people. And they have to inform about the many job opportunities you have on the armed forces that can reach from a baker to a tank crew member. Everything is possible there. One big point in our internal and external communication is that we don't carry out placements with legal consequences on the job seekers. So it's not allowed forcing applicants to serve the weapon. Advisors identify suitable candidates, making an appointment in the Armed Forces Counseling Service, and the Armed Forces Counseling Service approves the candidate's profile in detail, and they search for the perfect job by them. So what we've achieved after almost 1 year of implementation, we've managed to firmly anchor the new cooperation with our organization. The majority of our 25,000 advisors are now aware of the Armed Forces' new role and address that in their counseling sessions. The collaboration between our advisors and the Armed Forces career counselors has improved significantly. And most important, we've seen a visible increase in applicants for the Armed Forces positions, especially in the military sector. But of course, there are some challenges remain. We are currently drafting an internal directive to define the exact placement process with the Armed Forces. We're also developing a monitoring system to track our results more transparently. And finally, Germany plans to introduce new regulations for the basic military service in 2026. And this will likely generate a high number of inquiries from young people, so our counselors must be well prepared for that. And that brings me to an end of my presentation. I hope I was able to give you a clear overview of how we are turning agreement into action in Germany. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Christoph, and thank you to all of our panelists. I might ask one very specific question before I go to the floor to Christoph. These new military service regulations from 2026, what do they entail?
They do a letter sending every young people coming out from school. And they have to send them back and say if they want to go to the armed forces or not, so that they are confronted with this team. And because of that, we think that many young people come to us and asking about that.
And we have something similar in Sweden now, where all people the year they turn 18 or 17 receive this letter to explore their interests, and then they may be selected for compulsory military service. Okay, but then we've had 3 interesting presentations broadly on the theme of recruitment challenges to police and armed forces. And we have 2 microphones out in the audience on each side. So please just raise your hand or give some sort of signal which I might pick up. I see from Sandrine, France.
Yes, thank you. It works. I have a question for Christoph. You mentioned the organization of a work shadowing. Could you please say a little bit more about how does it happens concretely?
Yes, of course. We do a job shadowing for our advisors, that the advisors can sit next to a counselor from the armed forces who does a counseling with a applicant for the armed forces. So they have their own counselor service in Germany to find the perfect work for them in the armed forces. And our advisors go for 1 day or 1 week, go there and look what they do.
I think emerging in that the job shadowing, they spend that day or week together with the armed forces recruitment personnel in their day-to-day business.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you very much. I'm sure there are other questions out in our Curious from Finland.
Hello, Tiina Korhonen from Finland. Thank you for very concrete examples of your countries. I would like to ask, as police forces and also defense forces have traditionally been quite male-dominated fields, I would like to ask, do you have any special measures in order to bring more diversity in these fields and attract also women to apply for jobs in police forces and defense forces? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, very much on point. We don't have a special measure, but we are relying on what we are already doing. So awareness raising in general, changing of the stereotypes in general, and a very wide promotion. So this then also is starting to work, but very on point.
In Latvia, we also have actually a lack of officers in police, and there is no special measures. But of course, we as a public employment service, we support as a military sector, and actually every employer we support them with recruiting. And police is not so active as a military sector to participate in our events, but we slowly to push them because they also need officers, and we try to promote our services also to them, and we have positive examples about participation in job fairs and also with particular meetings with job seekers also. But regarding men and women, of course, it's always we don't mention such point because it's open for everyone, and it depends on skills and your knowledge, not on gender.
Yes, in Germany it's the same. I keep in mind we have one special event, that's the Girls' Day. Wo the armed forces or the police invite, and especially girls, to give them the chance to see the jobs and do advertising about it.
I think this is a theme we saw in all of the presentations, is the need for more diverse recruitment, and often we're discussing traditionally male-dominated occupations. I see in some countries policing is now more equal between the genders. And of course, diversity isn't only about gender diversity. We know in most of our countries, immigrant communities are underrepresented in these sectors, and this is also a pool that we all need to actively tap. It also is a good employment opportunity for some of those communities. So this diversity cuts across many aspects and is certainly a key for to meet our recruitment challenges. I suspect there are more questions. We have a little over 10 minutes left to discuss these issues. Niels from the Netherlands.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your interesting presentations. I just wonder if you could say a little bit about how cooperating with and recruiting for this defense sector differs from working for other sectors. Is there any differences in the approach or how you collaborate? Thank you.
In Latvia, we have a different approach because we, of course, evaluate every candidate and their skills and knowledge, and that's why I also mentioned in my presentation that we meet with these armed forces and defense sector institutions and discuss what are knowledge and needs, what is important in defense sector, and following these needs, we try to attract also candidates, but not special something only for defense sector.
In Germany, we have a real spotlight actually on recruiting for the armed forces. So we give the message to our advisors that they, in every talk with the council, in every counseling, they have to get this team on the people.
So in terms of cooperating with the police in Slovenia, I think as a fruit of this partnership, there is a special approach because as a result of this partnership, the police force has some opportunities that generally other companies or other agencies when recruiting do not have. So they are invited to every event, to be present there, to present there, to bring the equipment, to bring the horses. I think this is a very special opportunity that is not to be taken for granted, and it's not a general recruitment strategy. It's not available to every employer. And then secondly, we are creating employment or promotion events together. This is also like a recruiting activity that is also not available to all employers in general. And we are making promotion strategies on all the channels together in a partnership, which is also something that is special and a result of this partnership.
Thank you very much. And I couldn't help but think when the question was asked about cooperating with the defense sector. Here we're talking, of course, about police and armed forces, but also in the first panel we heard Elina about the supporting infrastructure around the defense industry and the innovative capacity, which we know has been a key to Ukraine's relative overperformance vis-a-vis Russia has been the technological advantage, which is largely based on our strong innovative capacity. And that's another supportive sector where we need to think about recruitment. Yes, Simon.
Hi, thank you. Really interesting. I wonder, in listening to you, where do you see the biggest barrier from in getting people interested in the defense industry? Is it awareness about these roles? Is it once people are aware, are they interested in these roles? And then once they are aware and interested, are they actually a fit from a skill, licensing, qualification perspective? So where in this chain do you experience the biggest barriers? Is it harder to get people interested? Is it harder to make people, is lack of awareness or lack of fit a bigger issue?
So the first barrier in Slovenia for the police force is citizenship, because you have to be a Slovene citizen. Then the second one is lack of motivation due to, on one hand, very difficult and diverse everyday schedule and work demands. And then, I don't know, how is it in your countries, but the salary in Slovenia is not very competitive. So I think these three are the biggest challenges.
I can also mention that labor market is labor market, and there is always a competition, and the competition is between private sector and military sector, and that depends on every person. What is your goal? What is your interest? But also. There is a good thing that it's a promotion of this military service is quite good, and also, for instance, in Latvia we have a voluntary use military organization if we translate, it's called new guards in Latvian, the jaunsargi, which are targeted to use. And already in school, you can start to approach this basic skills and then maybe already deeper skills in this for military side. And it's starting point to go next further and go and continue your career in military sector.
I think the biggest barrier is the mindset of the people, because they don't want to have a weapon in their hand. So, and I think our task is to inform them that not every job in the armed forces or police has to do with weapons. And there's a big labor market in the labor market by the armed forces in Germany, and they can do other jobs there. And yeah, this is our task to inform about that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I was actually thinking myself earlier that in many countries, public sector salaries, if we call police and armed forces public sector, have perhaps lagged in some of the emerging private sectors, and that's a big recruitment challenge. We know there's a market solution to that in terms of higher salaries, but that's a political question and the means to finance those higher salaries. Do we have any other questions in the audience? Please, from the front row here.
Thank you very much. As ex-military, I'm very glad that I hear this information, that you provide some programs for the police in Slovenia and also for military force in Latvia and Germany. And I like to ask, like, due to your experience on the past year, for example, because I saw that programs, it's quite a new one. What is the recruitment rate as you increasing from the past? And the second question, how many ex-police, ex-military you have employed in the public employment service in order to help you to develop the programs?
So the second one is a very good idea that that could be an inspiration for us in the future. And as for the first one, I don't have a clue, but we have a very, very successful analytics department. So if you're interested in the numbers and rates, I will be happy to provide it to you by email. It's significant.
I don't have exact numbers, but I can say also that we have also approach and we meet military sector officers, for instance, and provide them with information about our services, what is the labor market situation, because if they retired or are leaving military sector, we prepare them for this civilian labor market. It's what we are doing also. I'm not sure, then I need to check our personnel department and ask additional information.
Yes, in Germany the same. No significant, but no concrete numbers I can deliver later. And yeah, the second thing you saw is yeah, it's a good idea doing that.
Yeah, and that's something which police, military, and public service in general, we can't always compete on salaries, but we compete on the existential values. I want to contribute to society, better society, protect society, and that's one advantage we have compared to the private sector. I can share as well in Sweden, if I think about police recruitment and to the armed forces, a key to success in Sweden has been very strong focus on recruiting more women and also reaching other underrepresented groups. And I think back to even Canada, they have a saying that the police must reflect the face of society. So that also, bringing in people into policing and armed forces that reflect the society in terms of gender and ethnic background and so on. We're pretty well at time. It's 12:40, but if there is one last question, we could take it. Otherwise, and we're right against lunch. Nicole.
Thank you very much for the very interesting panel. So I think we have heard quite a bit about stereotyping. So for me, it would be just very interesting to hear. I've heard from Christoph, you do job shadowing with the recruitment offices of the military, but I would just be interested what you do within the public employment services to overcome biases that are also existing within the staff. So do you have any special training or education for the past staff when it comes to counseling persons? So I would just be interested to just a few words from either one of you.
If we have some training for our advisors, you mean? Yeah, we do big conferences, online conferences via Microsoft Teams. We invite all our advisors all around Germany, and then the armed forces speaking to them. And there are more than thousands per call, and so we get everybody informed about that and making them fit for the counseling sessions. Yeah. And we have many things in our intranet to read about, and job shadowing. And they can go also on troop visits. That's also in many regions. So I think there is many to improve our advisors.
I can call it like a training, but we have, as I also mentioned in the presentation, we have had workshops where armed forces visit our employment offices and describe to our employment advisors what it is, this military service, what are requirements, what are possibilities there.
Yes, that is very much on point, and I actually forgot to mention that. So we cannot raise awareness or change stereotypes if we don't start with ourselves. So I mentioned that every advisor at the Employment Service of Slovenia is informed about every job opportunities, but they're also informed about this raising awareness and about the meaning and the mission and importance of police work. So we are doing that locally, regionally, and state-wise in all our meetings and seminars.
Very good. We're now approaching lunch. We're more or less on time. I would like to first thank the audience for your engagement and all the good questions. And of course, a big round of applause and hearty thanks to our three panelists from Slovenia, Latvia, and Germany.